All right, running a little behind, but it happens. I'd hope to at least be able to set up my paints, but I didn't have time. So you're gonna have to watch the underpainting, and you're gonna have to watch the whole process. So even with a little headshot like this, I do the underpainting, which I know some people would think is overkill, but I think that it's necessary. We're able to create a nice overall aesthetic, consistent one. Hey, Jonathan. Hey, let me know if there's anything you want me to bring you back from Colorado. If there's anybody you want a signature from. Unfortunately, Jerry Conway canceled, as did Mike McCone. I believe they posted that. If they didn't, you heard it here first. And Campana also had to cancel for family emergency. So it's going to be myself, Joe St.Pierre, John Lucas. You'll be able to get, in a wonderful copy of Iron Face, which I hope everyone listening has. You can get it signed by Joe St.Pierre and John Lucas. And the cover artist for Acts of Helena 1 will be there. So it's a rare occasion. We're all rejoicing, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm a little out of it tonight. Packing for the shows is stressful, and I'm always feeling like I'm forgetting something. It's just a matter of what. What did I forget this time? Okie dokie. As you can see from the ink, really simple light source up and to the left. Want to keep everything asymmetrical. Or as much rejoicing. Yay. I always forget something. It's just a matter of what. Running away, running away. Other stuff with Colorado. Colorado Springs is an interesting little show. It's run by the same company I work for that does Rhode Island Comic Con, and the people there are really nice. I know that it's cliche, but And I've had, people obviously since I work for the company assume that I am, you know, just going to say everyone has to do it, but I'll show the receipts. Last year I had a terrific show, both personally and financially. It was a fantastic show. You're still going at that, Jonathan. I can see you're carrying our love of Monty Python ever onward. Now, this paper does not take the watercolors so well, I'm noticing, so I'm going to have to be a little careful. Everybody should wish Jay Kennedy well. He probably won't be on tonight. He caught he. I think he's the last person to catch COVID, which is surprising because he's been working front line for the city of Boston for the entire time. So get well soon, my buddy Jay, if you're out there. Yeah, this paper does not take the watercolor so well. So we're going to have to simplify. You can see the paper is already saturated. When it reaches that saturation point, that's when you get those little flecks of darker areas. Sometimes they'll come out when you hit them with the hair dryer. So we're gonna hope for that. Don't worry, I'll mute the microphone when I use the hair dryer. This is Payne's Gray. This is my wonderful crutch color that I've been using for a very long time because it gets a slightly cooler base shadow, which is what I like about it. Did you just watch the movie recently, Jonathan? Is that why you're going in with the Holy Grail? It flattened out a little bit, so maybe when I hit it with the hair dryer, it'll pull itself out. Good evening to the. It is a phenomenal movie. It's one of those like having a bad day, throw it on kind of movies for sure. That's one for me. Ghostbusters, the original, of course. That's a good having a bad day movie. This is purely underpainting at this point. You're not going to see any detail. These are like hard shadows and edges to things. And I don't use the same color for every little bit. Hey, Ruben. Almost, I think. Once I finish this stream and I put my art supplies packed away, I'll feel a lot better. But had to keep them out for the stream tonight, and yeah, I was excited to hear that people will start getting their mystery boxes that we did together soon, and I hope the reviews are excellent. Hope people get really excited. Hope things are good on your side of the landmass that we all share. Excellent. Blues Brothers, Animal House, good bad days. Blues Brothers is another one I'll definitely throw on. I mean, just for the great music performances alone, it's just tremendous. You got any? Yeah, there's some sepia. Now, once we get the underpainting done, we can then just add our top color after I dry it. And for the background, I'm going to go real simple. With the tick, I try to use complementary colors, so I'll use a nice orange wash on the background. It's a good neutral color, or a good warm color to go up against the blue. Got neutral on my mind because I'm working on the next set of underpainting tones. My painting teachers always had us use vined charcoal and earth tones for our underpainting. It's not dark enough. This is what happens when you don't mix your paints before. There we go. There's some burnt umber. Perfect. And you can just see how dark that is. You can see why I don't do these at shows anymore. The color pieces, they just take me forever. And I caught part of your sale the other day. That was pretty cool. You're gonna say, why isn't it? Why is he using brown instead of red? Well, it's because this is the shadow. And we're going to put the red directly on top of it. When I paint, I use a lot of pigment. A whole lot of pigment. I actually want a little bit extra red in this so that I can use it for his skin. Sun's over here, light's over here. So we want to get a nice little... Let's actually switch to a smaller brush. Yeah, I caught part of that. That was cool. I've never partaken in anything like that, so it was cool to see. Totally new to me. Yeah, I didn't pick anything up. I'm sorry. I just money's a little tight sometimes for comic books, but you had some cool stuff for sure. Color between the lines. Does anybody else remember those coloring books when we were kids, where they were supposedly watercolor and like the colors were in the paper, and all you had to do was put water over it and it filled it in for you? I remember those. All right, yeah, thanks, man. I do love trading, and I love trading at conventions. Anytime a dealer or another artist, like, you know, it's so fun. I'm always down for trades. Whether it's books or artwork or whatever, it's trading is the best. Hey, Jessica. Yeah, those things were awesome. I loved them as a kid. Those, you'd just throw a little water on them and you get the pretty colors and stuff. Yeah, I'm glad someone remembers those. Those were fun. Because of how this paper is not taking water very well, I think I'm gonna not do underpainting on the background, which is a little risky for getting a nice soft color, but I'm worried. Yeah, I'm sure you're right. And people just want, when I'm at shows, I've asked, I, it's sometimes hard to ask another artist if they're willing to trade, but usually they're receptive to it. I mean, for one thing, they don't have to mess with the taxes, and that's the one thing that I will point out for Colorado Springs specifically, because of how they run their small business stuff there. You have to have both a local and a state temporary permit. Now the state's easy; you just pay the $20 when you file your sales tax. But the local one, like, you got to have like an account on their website, and it's got all kinds of steps involved. It took me a little while to learn how to do it. I actually had to call the tax office in Colorado Springs, and the lady walked me through it. They were very nice, so I think they were just happy someone was like, "Oh, they're trying to do the right thing," so we'll show mercy on them. Just a very light bit of yellow, just very light, almost non-existent, just on the edge. The temporary permits, yeah, you have to. It's like $15, and you have to get a new one every year. And it's still cheaper than buying like the full. It's not like New York where they make you buy like a year-round sales tax permit. It's also one of the reasons like why I don't do shows in Connecticut, because they make you buy the year-round tax permit. I'll do a show in any, like, California has the temporary permits, I know for sure, because they do them through the convention through San Diego. But there are plenty of states that don't have temporary permits, and they make you buy like the full on, as if you were opening a store there, which, that's just ludicrous. And you can do it all online. It takes like about an hour to do after the show. You have to do it within a month. It's not hard or anything. All right, I think we have our underpainting done. Let me see if I can get the blow dryer to work. Yeah, I would do. Look, man, if you wanted to talk about that, I would split space, like whether it's at the special edition or any of the shows in LA, San Diego. I would absolutely. We should definitely talk about it. California is a reasonable state when it comes to its tax laws. I miss it. I loved going to California. I didn't know how much I would like it because being a New Englander most of my life. All right, I am muting the mic for a minute just so that I can use the hair dryer. All right, unmuted. All right, let's get our nice. Oh, thanks very much, Desiree. We'll give you the spotlight. We'll give one to Ruben. Be like, yeah. See, look at that. Technology. This is just an inexpensive old Utrecht sable brush. I've been using them for, obviously Utrecht doesn't exist anymore, so I've been using them a very long time. I'm just mixing colors. I guess I should try to put that in the picture so it looks like more professional, I guess, so you can see it's more of a Bob Ross type experience. Hey, I'm a baseball junkie, so. I'm looking to catch a minor league game with my buddy Jay when I get back from this show. It was not a walk, sir. It was a run. I run every other day. Yeah. Well, I average about 6, 7 miles every other day. But today, since I had the show, and the last time I went to Colorado because of the altitude, I had a little bit of altitude sickness when I worked out there. So I'm going to not work out for, 3, 4 days. So I wanted to get a good workout in. But yeah, I work out. Um, I try to work out every other day, trying to take care of myself. I've actually done a better job of working out more regularly since the pandemic hit instead of beforehand when I was going to a gym. The Jay workout plan. Jay used to work out pretty hard actually back in the day. He used to run the Blue Hills. Um, I've had too many of my friends tell me they wish they had started sooner. That was really it. And I used to play sports. I like working out. Yeah, he's definitely taking it easy. I talked to him the other day. He says he's feeling okay. You know, not great, obviously, but he says it's not like severe so far. I mean, but, Jay does not mind staying home and watching cartoons. Let's be fair here. Yeah, this paper does not take the paint very well. I've done the watercolor on other tick blanks and it's come out fine, but this one is definitely whichever year this is, 50th. What year is this? 2019. Yeah, these are not as good at taking paint. I have to do a few layers, I think. Definitely drop him a line if you're bored. I know he'd like to hear from you. He gets chatty. He used to call me back before it was illegal to talk on the phone while you were driving. Uh, Pretty much any time he was driving home. Be like, "Hey, dude, what's up?" And then he especially at that time found my um, employee when I worked at the print shop. He liked hearing stories about you know, stories of absolute horror. People have asked, what would something like this go for? I usually charge double for watercolor. So like a $35 headshot becomes 70. So this would be 70 bucks. And look, I'll bring it with me to Colorado. If it doesn't sell, it goes on the website. I actually yeah, I put the Sandman that I did last time. There's the finished one. Hey, it's nice being able to talk on the phone with somebody. Glad you have someone there that can commiserate with LA traffic, which I admit in my dealings with going to California, I have never experienced. I have not experienced LA traffic. I've experienced Boston traffic, which I try to describe Boston traffic to people before that haven't lived in the area, and it's always busy. There's congestion, and people drive fast. The people around here are pretty good drivers. To be entirely honest, like they drive aggressive, but I would say overall my experiences in Boston traffic, um, while at times terrifying, were when you get used to it, when you get used to the speed at which they travel, it's uh it's not too bad. Or at least it wasn't when I was driving an hour and a half each way at one point. But I wholly admit I have not experienced LA traffic. San Diego a little bit, but like to be honest, like there's so much you can walk to. And if I took anything, I took an Uber, or actually I usually take Lyft because I had a friend who was a driver and he said that Lyft treated him better. So this is just one for the pile, Desiree. One for my pile of to be sold. I'm gonna bring it to Colorado Springs, and if it doesn't sell, it'll go on the website. And I'm trying to be better about keeping it updated and getting stuff on there. When I get back, I got to bug Eli, Mr. Stone, about doing a stream together. He's been wanting to do it, and we got to make it happen before winter time. Because I'm guessing I'm going to have to drive up to his place. Is Eli going to say anything? I'm sure he would, yeah. Anytime we've chatted, he's been very chatty. We've talked on the phone a few times. Um, and I just like asking him about his time, working in indie comics, in the 90s. It was the tail end of the black and white boom, and you started to see the fall of the different distributors. It's just a fascinating time, to me at least. And it's totally different from now. Like now is so different from then. We're starting to see some new stuff with some of the new distributors, and people are really self-distributing a lot now. So I tried to have him come with us to New York one year. I remember bugging Bob about it because I had just started talking to Eli. I was like, I mean, he's done so many tick books. Why wouldn't you want him at the booth? Sure, man. Yeah, I'll give you a call. Same bat channel. Need some cadmium red if we got it. Yep, cadmium red medium. You can see how long I've had these things. Yeah, no problem, man. You shouldn't be on as late tonight. I'm hoping to be done, in the next 20 minutes or so. They've got a couple of exclusives at Colorado. They're doing the Mandalorian #1 cover, and yeah, you guys all know by now the one I did for Joe. And I think the one for Joe is limited to like 150 copies or so. It's too red. And I keep bugging NEC and still get no reply on, stuff for them as far as doing more tick comics. They still have stories I've done just sitting on the shelf. So hopefully hopefully they see print and hopefully they let me know if they ever do. So one thing I always tell people when they're taking up watercolor, and I saw it today when I was at the art supply. There was an artist dropping off some paintings that they'd done, and obviously this is someone who's selling their work and is a has experience, but don't be afraid to use a lot of pigment, you know, because when it dries, it's going to be lighter than you think it will be. And these paintings that I saw being brought in looked looked like they probably had a lot of dimension when they were wet, but then when they dried, they were very flat. Well, I want to thank the handful of folks that are in here hanging out with me. make our background. We're going to use some yellow. And then we're going to slowly add some orange. Wish I had something to drink. This red here is the alizarin crimson. It's a very nice, nice tone. I like it a lot. It's good for mixing too. It doesn't get chunky or anything. I have been watching the Sandman series. Which I've enjoyed a great deal. I think the Sandman is a terrific show. I'm only a handful of episodes in, but I'm sold. I thought that because I read the book when it came out, and as it was coming out, and I loved The Dreaming, which was a spin-off book. Which, if you've read all the Sandman graphic novels, I implore you to read The Dreaming, especially if you like Goldie. Which I was very happy to see Goldie show up in the show. We're going to need more of this color, so I'm just going to go straight into this cup here. That's a nice orange. I like that orange. We're going to need some more yellow. This is just a lemon yellow. I decided to go with brighter colors instead of using ochre or cadmium yellow, just because I think that they fit the tick better. The big bright colors. I remember I was doing a watercolor at one point, and it had a very yellow background, and someone said, or it had a very green background. It told me no one likes green backgrounds, and I told them that green was my favorite color, and they didn't reply. So, but they're right, and that's actually a thing that publishers, especially, I believe it was Carmine Infantino that was quoted as saying that yellow covers or green covers don't sell. I find that strange because they have Green Lantern as one of their stable and long-time standing characters. So, what do I know? I'll start with just our yellow. Got two yellows going. One has a little bit of that crimson in it, and one of them is just a tiny, tiny bit of Thanks, Jay. I hope you're feeling better. We all wished you to feel better earlier. So if you want to hear us all say "get well soon," Jay, you can go back towards the beginning of the stream. So hope you're feeling better. think my cat is scratching at the door. Then he'll just plop down and then you can hear him snoring again. That is honestly one of my favorite moments from doing these streams was when we caught the cat snoring on the playback. Probably food. It's 9 o'clock. Probably food. Usually gets fed at 10. I think we're going to actually have to mix some more orange. So what I'm going to do is try to finish off the top. On those edges, flip it over. I remember the ratio pretty well. Hey Jay, just working on this, been packing all day, doing work for Steve, last minute stuff for the convention. Yeah, let me know if there's anything you want. I'll say hi to, Broderick and everybody for you. St.Pierre. And I'll probably try to do a TikTok video from the show floor like I did last time. So I did one at Gem City, which people seem to like. I have to mix some more of this orange here. So what happens when you don't do the underpainting, like the tones don't get the same intensity. So it takes a couple of layers to do these things. Hey man, all I want to do is get there, see the people I gotta see, do what I gotta do, and get back safe. That's that's what I want to do. There we go. That's a much better, much truer orange, I would say. Other than that, Jay, like I said earlier, I'm watching that Sandman show, which I think it's really good. We just watched the death episode last night. Maybe this won't take less than the usual amount of time. I don't know. Can hear the annoying motorcycles from my neighborhood. I swear, this place is louder than living in the city sometimes. And Jay, these are those same watercolors I told you about last time. As far as the brand and stuff, it's a combination of Grumbacher and Cotton and the Winsor Newton stuff, which I've always liked. I've always liked the Winsor Newton whenever I can afford, to buy it. All right, well, I'm going to hit it one more time with the thingy. And then I got one more thing I got to do to it, and then we'll be done. I'm going to mute the microphone. Thanks, dude. Yeah, I think we're pretty much done. I do need to fix one little shadow. It's bothering me. Oh, thanks, Ruben. I just go for it. It was actually Ben who did the crazy spoon. I watched him every time I watch Ben draw. I learned something, and one of the things that he did um, was just go nuts with the lettering of spoon. Like he would do it all different ways, and he would just go at it. And the trick is to just, even if it's not perfect, just throw it in there. Just throw it down, and it creates more energy. So I think we're done for the evening. Let me just sign this bad boy. And anytime you can sign in color, that's always fun, especially when I can sign in my favorite watercolor. So, well, wish me a safe trip out. I hope to, be back safe and sound so we can do this again next week. And I have some good news coming about books that other non-tick books that I work on. And I was talking to one of the writers I work with regularly, and we've got some good stuff cooking. Thanks again. I hope everyone has a lovely evening, and let's do a good job in Colorado, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks, everybody. Good night.